Hey everyone, this is Victoria English, top coach with Project 90. Thanks for joining me today. Can you feel the change in the air wherever you're living? I'm over here in Colorado and we can just start to feel a touch of fall. The kids are going back to school. People are switching their candles from citrus to cinnamon and vanilla and things like that. And before you know it, Starbucks pumpkin lattes will be coming out in full force. You know my favorite part of this year? Well, there's so many favorite parts. And I'm wondering if you share this opinion as well, that the best part of fall is football season. Are you guys football fans? I grew up in the 70s and 80s. And while other girls had John Stamos and Andy Gibb, who else was up there? Trying to remember all the heartthrobs of that era. I had a Terry Bradshaw poster on my wall. I grew up watching the Steelers. My family came from Pennsylvania. I was born there, but spent most of my life in Florida. But wow, what an era to follow that team. So my dad traveled a lot. I didn't see him a whole bunch during the week, but on the weekends, that was our thing. So a love of football was instilled from a young age and continued my whole life. And so Saturday and Sunday for me are about the games. What's your favorite team? I'd love to know. If you follow me on Instagram at Victoria English 1111, shoot me a message. Who's your favorite team? Who are you pulling for? You can also follow James if you aren't already. You can find him all over the different platforms at James Swanwick. He's a big sports fan as well. You know, he's an Australian and American citizen, so he's gotten quite into our football style over here. We're going to talk about football and drinking. Is it possible to enjoy your football season without the booze? Let's get to that in just a minute. Before we start, I want to remind you that aside from following us on social media, you can click subscribe and please leave a review for this podcast. That way, when people search up quit drinking or alcohol-free, things like that, they'll find us. And that means we can reach more people and help more people reframe alcohol and where it fits or doesn't fit into their life. Also, our signature program, Project 90, is taking some applications. We keep our program limited in size for lots of reasons. But the biggest one is that we like to give our members a lot of individual attention. And so we only accept a certain amount. And if you've followed us for a while, you know that the population we serve is made up of high achievers, ages 35 and beyond. We also have a 1-year program that's doing just incredibly well. And you can apply for both of those by booking a call. You'll speak with me or Corey, our other coach. You can find us at alcoholfreelifestyle.com/schedule. So there is, I can't think of a place where alcohol is more prominently displayed than sporting events. It's everywhere, right? I mean, it really is. The ads, the sponsors, the coolers that are made for beer, the cans that come out supporting different teams, all this stuff. It's all about the drinking. Except it's not really about the drinking, you guys. We have been conditioned to associate certain things with alcohol, and football is one of them. If you are thinking about changing your relationship with alcohol, if it's causing more harm than good, it's only natural that you would say to yourself, why don't we just kick this can down the road and enjoy football season? I totally get that. I really, really do. Any reason that you have in your head about why now is not the time, I have probably thought it myself. If I haven't thought of it myself, I have certainly coached someone who has. And so it makes sense. And I encourage you to not judge those thoughts. They're only natural. Because as I mentioned, you've been conditioned from a young age to associate alcohol with football. They go together like peas and carrots, right? Remember the Bud Bowl? I mean, it's everywhere. And it's marketed in a way to make it seem really fun and really necessary. You can't simply enjoy the sport unless you have a drink. You may also associate football season with some good memories, and that's okay. You'll never hear us say alcohol is absolutely horrible. How did you ever drink it? If you hadn't had good times with alcohol, you wouldn't have a problem with alcohol right now. You've probably heard me say I went to a huge football school. I was in a sorority, and there was drinking all around. And back then, I really didn't suffer consequences other than a hangover, which we could laugh about back then, some questionable dance moves, and maybe some questionable dance partners, if you know what I mean. And that's okay, because you know what? No harm, no foul. I had good times, and the price I paid was worth paying when I was 20, 21. It's okay to remember good times with drinking. The question is, how's it going now at this stage in your life? Well, if you're listening to this podcast, it's not going very well at all. It doesn't mean every single time you drink is horrible. It might be. And if it isn't, it might be in the future. But all of the thoughts and feelings you have are allowed. It's normal that you would have those thoughts and feelings. But I'd like to take you back to last football season. How was your drinking then? Were you struggling? Were you questioning your relationship with alcohol? Did you perhaps think about doing something about this issue, but you kicked it down the road, kicked the can down the road, saying, oh, yeah, football's coming up. I want to enjoy it. Well, how did it turn out? Was your football season made better because of your drinking? If not, why do you think you need it this football season? We talk a lot about science in our program in layman's terms, but one of the things I love most about science is collecting data. And so if you were a scientist and you were looking at your data when it comes to alcohol, what would you conclude? Would you conclude that, yes, I should drink through this football season because the data I have gathered indicates that it goes really, really well? Or would the data indicate that actually alcohol doesn't pair well with my favorite football game anymore? And the conclusion is that it's time. It's time to stop putting this off. When we're not drinking, we get to do a lot of things that we can't do when we pair alcohol with our games. And as a football fan, you know that in the game, there are two sides, offense and defense. To play on defense means to be reactionary, but to play on offense means to be proactive and come up with a strategy. Well, I'll tell you from experience, personal and professional experience, that if you aren't playing offense when it comes to this season, if you don't have a plan, you will do the same old, same old.
Hi, this is James Swanwick, and we're taking applications for our 90-day and 1-year stop drinking programs. Clients are mostly executives, entrepreneurs, and investors who have tried unsuccessfully and repeatedly to stop drinking but remain stuck in a frustrating cycle of stop-start, stop-start. Our programs are not AA, which has a reported 7% success rate. Our programs are not rehab, which has a reported 6% success rate. Our 90-day and 1-year programs involve a safe, fun, virtual community of high achievers with a process that boasts an incredible 92% success rate of clients reaching at least 90 consecutive days alcohol-free. We use the latest neuroscience and personal development processes to help rewire clients' brains around alcohol and minimize its importance in their lives. We will show you how to powerfully socialize with friends, family, and colleagues, what to say and how to say it so people don't mistakenly think that you're an alcoholic or have a problem, and how to eliminate the temptation of returning to constant drinking so you can finally break the stop-start cycle. To ensure client success, Project 90 can only accept 15 new clients each month. Some of those happy clients include John Keltner from California, who said, "I've lost 10 pounds." Susie Vaughn, a real estate broker in Tennessee, who said, "I've generated 20% more leads." Jessica Gaines-Jarbo from Kentucky, who says, "I've now got joy, focus, presence, and clarity." And Joe Worley from Michigan, who says, "My wife has the real Joe back." If you're an executive, entrepreneur, or investor who's sick of the stop-start cycle and the damaging effects alcohol has on your health, happiness, and family, and you're ready to regain confidence, become more present with your spouse and children, reduce stress, anxiety, and irritability, sleep better, increase focus and productivity, and feel better quickly, you're invited to apply to become a Project 90 client. Applicants can apply for an introductory interview by visiting alcoholfreelifestyle.com/project90. There's a link in the show notes which you can just click, but that link is alcoholfreelifestyle.com/project90. Application interviews are limited and are conducted on a first-come, first-served basis. If there are no remaining interview times available, wait a few weeks and try again. Let's get back to the show.
So imagine yourself coming up on a football weekend and you are with us in Project 90. So you've done it. You've taken the leap. You're not drinking during football season. Does that feel scary? It's okay if it does. But let's look at what you have to look forward to. You get to remember the game. Now, I know, sometimes we'd like to forget the game, but you get to enjoy it. You get to remember it, for better or for worse. You also get to act appropriately. Okay, look, if you are 20 and you're acting the fool, whether you're watching the game with friends or you are at the stadium, well, it's okay. It's part of being 20. If you are age 35 or more, it's not a good look. Getting sloppy while watching your favorite sport is not a good look. Snapping at people, slurring your words, spilling your drink on your clothing, dripping nacho cheese on your shirt. It's not a good look. You're better than that. And just because people laugh and go, "Oh, it's because they were drunk," that's not an excuse. And so you get to behave appropriately. You also get to really, really dig into the football food. Oh, don't you guys love football food? Sometimes when I was drinking, I would prepare the football food, but I'd put off eating it because I wanted to get drunk. So here's this counter full of delicious stuff that I would really only treat myself to during games. And I'd deprive myself of it because I wanted to save the calories from eating that to allow myself space to drink. Look, the drunk munchies are real. And so ultimately, I would drink my fill of alcohol and then I would dig into the food, eating whatever I wanted with complete abandon because our judgment goes out the window after those drinks. And so we eat too much. But guess what? When you're saving all those calories on booze, You can dig in, have it all. We become foodies when we're alcohol free. Your palate comes back to life too, so food tastes better. So the real question is, what do you have to lose? Is it about socializing? Guess what? In Project 90, we coach you around all of that. Because look, it's going against some norms when we show up not drinking. We get that. We've all been there. Every single one of us, from the coaches to the members, everyone has learned how to walk into a social situation and happily be alcohol free. I'll let you in on a little secret. If you feel a little bit awkward in the beginning, that's okay. You have us there to support you and guide you. And without fail, by the time you get to halftime, third quarter at the latest, you'll be looking around at your game day buddies and thinking, dang, I'm really glad I'm not them right now. And the next morning, when you wake up without a hangover and you're ready to tackle the work week, you're going to be really glad that you weren't doing what they did. So, what do you have to lose besides, I don't know, all the bad stuff that you feel when you drink? What you're going to lose is weight, bloat, shame, embarrassment, regret, and so much more. That's what you're going to miss out on. And you get so much in return. But look, I know it's not easy. This is a big thing, going back to how we've been conditioned since we were young. We're undoing some really deep thought patterns and habits. So it's okay to not do it on your own or not want to do it on your own. But imagine how you'll feel by the time the playoffs, the college championship, and the Super Bowl come around. Picture yourself months into this, alcohol free. What are you going to look like? How's your skin going to look? How about your eyes? How about your body? Showing up, your pants fit better, the puffiness has diminished, you're back to having fun without alcohol. You've learned how, you've remembered what fun without alcohol feels like. I mean, that's pretty cool. So look, I get the nerves, I get the jitters, but get started. Don't kick the can down the road. Go ahead and book that call. Let's see if we're a fit. I'd love to cheer on our favorite teams during football season with you. So stop putting it off and take action. Thanks for joining me today. Until next time, have an awesome day.
Hi there, this is James Swanwick. Thank you so much for listening to the show. I would be so grateful if you would leave a review. That will help us climb the rankings and get our show exposed to so many more people who could really benefit from the content. You can do that by going into Apple Podcasts, rating the show, writing a little one-sentence summary, and posting it. That would be so amazing. Thank you. Likewise, if you would like to schedule a 15-minute exploratory call and apply for our Project 90 program, then you can do so by going to alcoholfreelifestyle.com/project90. If you'd like to get the free guide, that is the Alcohol Freedom Formula Guide, you can go to alcoholfreelifestyle.com/guide. Our YouTube channel is at alcoholfreelifestyle.com/YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at James Swanwick. Thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate you, and we'll catch you on the next one.